Welcome to the most listened to golf in the world, the Fairways of Life show, on air, online, and around the world, with the most candid interviews, unforgettable stories, taking you beyond the ropes. Here's your host, New York Times best-selling author, Matt Adams.
What is going on, folks? Welcome into the Fairways of Life show. Delighted to have your company from wherever you are joining us from coast to coast or around the world. We have a lot to get through with you today. Our lead story is the U.S. Women's Open, and I want to go through that in some detail, but also mention that a lot of dreams came true over the course of this last week, not only at the U.S. Women's Open, but also Bob MacIntyre at the RBC Canadian breaking through in the PGA Tour. We'll be getting to that in an upcoming segment, and golf's longest day, which I think could be one of the great days of the year in golf, full stop. I realize it's final stage qualifying for the U.S. Open, so there's an objective with what's taking place. But when you take a step back and think about how that plays out, where that plays out, who is playing, being both amateurs and professionals, meaning that it's the U.S. Open. If you want to compete in this major and you're a good enough player, you're an elite player, you can do it. If you've got the game, if you've got the mentality, if you've got the endurance that it takes to make it through. So we'll get to that. In fact, we may be joined today by one who was a medalist at one of the sites yesterday. We'll get to that as the program continues as well. But first, as I mentioned, the U.S. Women's Open. I think when we heard that for the first time since 2015 that the U.S. Women's Open was heading back to Lancaster, that I don't know how well you remember it from 2015. I will not claim to have intimate knowledge of that golf course from that U.S. Open, U.S. Women's Open. So when they played it this year, I guess the way that I would phrase it would be, I must have forgotten how good it is. I must have forgotten how this golf course is so darn good. Severe? Yeah. Complaints that the setup was too tough? Did you remember this is the U.S. Open? For better or for worse, it is what it is. U.S. Open prides itself on being the toughest setup in golf. It was the toughest setup in golf. I think the judgment of any event, any tournament, but certainly a major is, ultimately, did it determine who the best golfer was that week? Did it create the best golfer? Or were the results too influenced by just a fickle twist of fate? Ultimately, although I think Lancaster at times tread that line, ultimately, I think it produced the best golfer of the week. Consider this. Yuka Saso has now won 2 U.S. Women's Open. Yuka Saso, then, a multiple-time major champion now, is all of 22 years old. Let that settle in for a second. Number 6 in Rolex rankings. There you see it. 2 LPGA Tour wins. They're both majors, thank you very much. 18 career top 10s. And at 22 years old, if you kind of shrugged and said, well, you've already won a U.S. Open, what have you done for me lately? Again, I harken back. 22, performing at the grandest of stages and still learning along the way. So incredibly important. So at Yuka's press conference, the question rightfully asked was, what is it with you and the U.S. Women's Open?
I don't know. Like I said, I think it's the familiar faces that I see. Like Julia, Sarah, all the staff, the USGA staff, they just make me feel very welcomed, and they take a good care of me, and maybe that's the reason why. I hit a good tee shot on 1 after 3 days, and I think I played pretty stable. I made double bogey on 6 though. I think that happens every time. I think that happened too in 2021. I think that double is a good luck. But I think, I was hearing my drivers really good. I don't think I've missed a lot of fairways today. I putted really good. I switched to this new putter, Odyssey. I've been putting really well with that, and I think that helped a little bit as well. And I think just stayed patient and enjoyed playing golf. Well, I can be patient with other things, but I think, I don't know how to explain it. Just stay in the moment and trying to focus on every shot, trying to do my routine, I think helps a little bit to calm down a little bit and be patient. I remember before we start, he talked to me and, whatever happens today, he'll be very proud of me. And I think I remember that all the way. I think that kind of words of him helped me a lot. I don't know, I went to 2021 and haven't won after that. And I think it just makes it special because after a long wait and, I wasn't expecting to win the US Men's Open. Every time last time too, I wasn't expecting it. This time too, I wasn't expecting it. I think that's why it made me a bit emotional. And, winning, it just make you look back and, all the things that your family and your team and, my sponsors, they've supported me throughout, good or bad, especially, ICTSI or KPMG, especially Callaway. I talk to them so much. I've been requesting a lot about golf clubs, and they've been all the support that they did. I'm very grateful, and every time I made a request, they would answer right away, and I think those stuff helps too. And like I said, all the people here at the USGA it feels very comfortable. I think I really wanted it as well, not just to get a second win, but to also to prove something to myself. I haven't won in 2.5 or 3 years, and I definitely had that a little doubt if I can win again or if I won't win again. But yeah, I think those experiences helped a lot, and I think I was able to prove a little bit something to myself.
What I like about this conversation with Yuka Saso is that, yes, she's won twice on the LPGA. Yes, they're both major championships, which is incredibly impressive. Yes, she is still only 20 years old. But remember, in 22, she had a runner-up and a third-place finish. In 23, she had a runner-up and 2 third-place finishes. She's knocking on the door at other wins as well. What I also really enjoyed, and this was mostly post-victory in fairness, was we had an opportunity to get to know her personality again, to realize how engaging she is, to realize how intelligent she is, consider the fact that she is multilingual and is able to speak the English language as well as she is from a communication standpoint to the largest golf audience in the world. It was very, very impressive on so many different levels. It speaks to the depth of the LPGA because, look, the story coming in was going to be Nelly Korda, and rightfully so and fairly so. But a 10 at the par 3 12th in the opening round really kind of dimmed the hopes. At that point, she was trying to dig her way out of a hole. And she gave it a valiant effort. And from that point, too, it was pretty fun to watch. Now, talk about valiant efforts. Allie Ewing. Ultimately, Allie Ewing, who admittedly is a friend of the show, and so we get excited for her to see her play well. She's a good person, a good human being. Allie ended up finishing in that tie for third on the wings of what she did in that final round, 66, such as it was. And when she got done, came in to see the media, she was asked the question because, it's the nature of what we do, right? As sports fans, people who love the game of golf, we're going to have conversations in the context of, remember, this is the same Allie Ewing that was knocking on the door through the first 3 rounds at the Women's Open last year at Walton Heath. And it wasn't the first time that she's been knocking on those doors. She's already a winner on the LPGA. But when you watch what she did at the U.S. Women's Open to finish that strongly in a final round, it makes you wonder what lies right around the corner. But first, she reflected on what just was.
Yeah, it was a really solid start. I had really good looks on 2, 3, 4. Didn't convert them, but burned the edges. So I mean, the key for me this week was just to continue to try to hit good shots, give myself opportunities, and you have putts out here that are 10-footers that on a normal golf course you would think, oh, it's a good look for birdie, but some 10-footers out here you're just trying to get the ball in the hole for par. So yeah, it was a solid game plan and really good execution today. Yeah, I think this will end up being my best finish in a major, for sure best finish at a U.S. Open. So assuming it holds up as it is. I think for any golfer, we want to peak around major championships, starting the week with a 4-over, and then just gradually playing the golf course better and better, executing more shots. It's just a really good feeling. This was where I made my first professional U.S. Open start, so yeah, really good memories for Lancaster now. Yeah, it was great. I definitely remember that from 2015. That week was really a blur because I got in on Tuesday night, and I got here Wednesday and only got 9 holes in. So I really remembered the crowd support in the Lancaster area. So it's always exciting when you get to a good venue that's a really good challenge, but then also you have a lot of spectators and fans show up for us. So that's always great.
All right, so Allie Ewing, reflecting on the week that was, and also alluding to what I was just discussing, this idea of ascension. And it's one of my favorite things when we follow a player in golf. There are those that break out and they're great and they're just like a shooting comet. They don't seem to stop until the light burns out. But I think it's particularly fun to watch a player going through the steps. I haven't had a chance to talk to Allie in a sit down since the Women's Open, the AIG Women's Open last year. But I would guess that experience there, especially the pressure that she was under in the final round, that did, in fairness, consume her, at least as compared to what she had done leading to that point, that she learned from that. And here she was in this final round, almost to a point where there just weren't a lot of people watching her because it wasn't the type of golf course that gave you a sense it was going to give up a lot of really low scores. And she shot a really low score, at least by comparison, in that final round. Very, very impressive. So that's where I'm coming from, saying keep an eye on this space. Watch for Allie Ewing as she moves forward. Allie, as you guys probably know from maybe knowing her story or when she was on here telling us recently, she's a diabetic. And the way that she's managing her health, the way that she's managing her fitness, the way that she manages her game, she's long. I'm a huge fan, and I think there's great things in store. I feel the same way about Andrea Lee as well. Now, she faded in the final round to a 75, but she still finished tied for third. Interestingly enough, here I am talking about Walton Heath. She was a factor in that AIG Women's Open, too. It was a great kind of testing ground, similar golf courses in terms of how they played, because remember, Walton Heath is not, if some of you are going, wait a minute, you're talking about the Women's Open? Isn't that played on a links golf course? Well, it wasn't at Walton Heath, as the name would imply. So the style of play that they had a lot of similarities, in my view, right? Because I was doing the on-course play-by-play last year. So I think that Andrea is another one where you can look at it and go, how well you know her, maybe you don't know her quite as well, maybe you learned through the Solheim Cup, what have you. But I have a feeling that what happened to her in that final round will be something that she will learn a great deal from too.
Yeah, it was tough out there. Obviously didn't have my best right from the start. I was pretty nervous, but yeah, just didn't have great shots out there. I had a couple of drives that really cost me, especially the double on 4. But I tried to fight my way back, especially on the back 9 with the birdie on 12. I felt like I was still in it. Yeah, and I really grinded out there. I tried to come back, but yeah, it was tough. I just didn't have my best today. Yeah, a lot of positives to take away from the week. This was my first time being in a last group of a major championship. But both the third and fourth rounds. So, I was extremely nervous, but I feel like I learned a lot about how to, control my emotions out here, and definitely a lot of positives to take away. I feel like this is only gonna, make me stronger in the long run and give me some confidence going into the rest of the season. Yeah, I mean, Lancaster has some of the best crowds I've ever experienced in my entire life. I had a blast out there. They were, screaming my name, and it was great to hear and have their support. So, very thankful that they all came out to watch some great golf. And, yeah, it was an experience unlike any other.
Awesome to hear from Andrea. The PGA Tour Superstore is a presenting sponsor of the Fairways of Life show. If you swing it, if you wear it, if you need to learn from it, you can do it all at the PGA Tour Superstore. And there's 70 stores spread out from coast to coast. They are big and beautiful. They're real and they're magnificent. You can find whatever you're looking for within. But I think their chief asset are their people, because you're shopping with the pros.
Every January, PGA Tour Superstore pros meet every manufacturer, learn about the latest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together hit over 100,000 balls. All so they can get you the perfect fit.
In Ireland, golf is more than just a game. Come and experience our world-famous links courses and our world-famous Parkland courses, all set alongside world-famous scenery. And visit our world-famous historic sites. And while you're here, enjoy our world-famous hospitality. Fill your heart with Ireland at ireland.com/golf.
Ben Hogan Golf Equipment is back. Established in 1953, we serve golfers who demand excellence of their equipment. Designed by the game's best engineers, forged in the world's best foundries, and built to order in the USA. Don't settle for off-the-rack disappointment. Elevate your game with custom clubs at direct-to-consumer pricing. Exclusively at benhogangolf.com. That's benhogangolf.com.
The Gen 6 iron is a culmination of everything that we have learned as a team, the absolute best golf club I've ever hit. It's something special. Say hello to the new PXG Gen 6 iron. The longest, most accurate irons we've ever made. They go higher and farther than any iron that I have hit to date, and they're so easy to hit. Super excited for the consumer to try this. They're gonna love them.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Baseball? Nah. Football? Done it. I think I'm gonna go after the PGA Tour.
Playing on the PGA Tour is not easy. But you know what is easy? Hitting the 524 series from Tour Edge.
Hitting linebackers and home runs used to be easy.
Out here, you're gonna need all the easy you can get. Introducing the 524 series from Tour Edge. The easiest clubs you'll ever hit. Even the best players in the world can use a little easy.
I like the sound of that. Look out, PGA Tour.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
Boyne Golf provides the ultimate world-class golf destination with 10 championship-caliber courses spanning 3 resorts. Centered in Michigan's northern Lower Peninsula, the courses are the products of some of the game's masters, including Robert Trent Jones Sr., Arthur Hills, and Donald Ross. From the all-inclusive vacation packages, elite instruction with the Boyne Golf Academy, tournaments, and so much more, Boyne Golf truly offers an unrivaled Michigan golf vacation experience. Just log on to BoyneGolf.com. Welcome back to the Fairways of Life show. Matt Adams here with you. Dom and Andrew are behind the glass. Pleasure to have your company. So, this theme that we opened the show with today about lives changing, that was certainly the case with the story of Bob MacIntyre. Couldn't find the right caddy for him. Was talking to his dad about it. Probably, I'm guessing, talks to his dad all the time. His father, it's interesting over in Scotland that he's the way that his father describes himself is that he cuts grass. he's a superintendent at the golf course, but the title that he's afforded there is a greenskeeper, and he said, I just cut grass. Obviously, there's much more to it than that. But kind of an emergency call-in, goes to the bullpen, brings his dad over, does Bob MacIntyre, to caddy for him. And they end up winning the RBC Heritage, finishing on the mark of 14 under par. And the RBC, Canadian Open, beg your pardon. And it was really cool because you didn't get a full sense of the weight, rightfully so, of the emotion of it all until you saw his dad at the end. You could see him getting emotional. And that, to me, was when it was very, very cool. So when Bob went in to see the media, the first question he was asked, the first question he should be asked was, what was it like to break through, to win for the first time on the PGA Tour, and to do it with your father on the back?
It was incredible. It's everything that I've done in my life has been with the support of my family. The game of golf was kind of passed down the generations from, I mean, I got it from my dad, and luckily he's a head man in Oban at Glencruiton, and we've got a house between where you cross the road for 4 holes over the road at Glencruiton, and we used to go out every night in the summer, no matter the weather. We'd play 4 holes every night, and he taught me the game of golf. And then this week when I phoned him to come and caddy for me, to be honest, I was just coming here to play a golf tournament. There was no expectation. There was a lot going on with visas and stuff during the week, and to win it with him in the bag is just, to be honest, I still can't believe that it happened. It changes everything. I mean, this is my 5th event in a row as well. I was planning to do US Open qualifier tomorrow, 36 holes with my dad in the bag. Thankfully that's off the cards, and you know what, it's a dream come true, and I just can't believe it's happened with him in the bag. I mean, there's been a lot going on with me for caddies, and obviously I partied with Scotty last week, and I just came here, I was happy, I was in a good mind frame, and I was just out there to play golf and hit the golf shots and add them up at the end. And it wasn't until late on that I really started to look at leaderboards properly and see where I was, and I mean, we done it. I knew I had a hell of a fight in me. I've been working hard, really hard, on the mental side of the game, because once we picked apart my game of golf, we knew that, or we realised that the game of golf isn't the problem. I'm the problem, and I've worked really hard at that with my team, and I've said it probably for the last 4 or 5 weeks that the mental side's so important to me, and this reiterates it. It's yesterday when it wasn't going well, my dad just said, "What have you been working on? What are you doing?" Hold that putt in 10, and we just switched into gear. But it just shows that I can compete at the top level. I always knew I could, but until you do it, you really don't know. Yeah, well, I've not even spoken to my mum, my family, my team, my managers. I mean, I'm guessing I'm going to have to. I mean, I'd love to go home for a party, but I think we'll probably play next week. To be honest, it wasn't really the focus. It was more I said it yesterday. He's wanting me to do well just because I'm blood. There's no, he's going to get a nice paycheck out of it, and my mum and dad will be mortgage free now, and life's looking a little bit better on that side of things, but he just wants me to do well because I'm his son, and there's no angles to it, there's nothing. It's just sheer fight for me, and I mean, I fight for him as well. And coming down the last there when I hit that 7-iron and I watched it in the sky, and I knew it was never enough club, so I hit it as hard as I could, and it was perfect. As soon as I hit it, I looked up, it was perfect, and actually a little tear in my eye because I knew that one's going to be close, and I still had a job to do, but I just felt like the guy that's properly taught me the game of golf, I'm going to win a tournament with him in my bag, and it's so special. He'll do all right. I think I got to get rid of some money just now for tax reasons, but he'll do nicely out of it. He deserves it. Look, he was a caddy for the week, but at the end of the day, he's my dad, and it was just the emotion that you seen at the end was just almost out of sheer disbelief that we'd done it with him in the bag. I mean, the amount of work that the caddies do week in, week out, which is unbelievable help, and then I just do it with my dad that's got a yardage book. I mean, he lost a yardage book once, he couldn't get in on Monday, didn't have credentials. I wouldn't have thought it.
Bob MacIntyre, after his victory at the RBC Canadian Open, a great event, absolutely great event. Rory McIlroy was knocking on the door. He did his Rory things, had that one round that was wonky, but other than that, it was really strong. He finishes tied for fourth and 10 under. When Rory McIlroy finished up, the first thing everybody wanted to know was, how would you assess the week in its entirety?
A good week. I mean, 3 really good rounds of golf and one not so good one. Felt a little out of sorts on Friday, but did a good range session and sort of rectified it. So yeah, I mean, overall, three rounds out of 4 were really good, and just that one disappointing one on Friday. But overall, after a week off where I didn't feel like I prepared as well as I probably could have, it was a solid week. Yes, it does. Going into a big stretch of golf here, and obviously it's not. You want to come to tournaments and try to win every single one that you play in, but I think to build off, especially the weekend here, going into Memorial next week, and then obviously going into the US Open the week after. We've got a lot of golf coming up, but really nice to see some good signs in my game this weekend. Yeah, absolutely. I think history and tradition and legacy are a really big part of the game of golf, and this is one of the oldest championships in the world, as is the Scottish Open, as is the Opens definitely means something else, and it's great that so many people, Golf Canada, RBC, have gotten behind this Canadian Open and made it really special. It's, as I said, it's a pleasure to come up here and play every year, and I'm going to keep doing that until they tell me I can't come over the board. Bob and I aren't, we're separated by a body of water in the Irish Sea, but we're actually not that far away from each other where we grew up in Oban and Belfast. So I can absolutely understand. It's a big culture shock. It's compared to the place where he grew up in Oban. Traveling around America, it's a different world, and some people adapt a little quicker than others, and everyone has to try to find their right rhythm, and it looks like Bob's still figuring that out, but it would be great to see him hang on and get that first PGA Tour win.
All right, Rory McIlroy addressing the media after his tie for fourth, 10 under par mark. Well, delighted to tell you that as we've been on the air live today, we have been contacted by medalists at one of the sites for golf's longest day. And not only medalists, but convincingly winning the medalist position. Ultimately, does it matter at golf's longest day? No, everybody's judged the same. Either you earned one of the spots to Pinehurst in the US Open or you didn't. And this gent did just that. But his golf that he has been playing is particularly good. Is it safe to say that this person could win the US Open? Of course it is. Everybody in the field is capable of it. He just might be even more capable than others because of the form that he possesses right now. That coming up in the Fairways of Life show right after this.
Every January, PGA Tour Superstore pros meet every manufacturer, learn about the latest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together hit over 100,000 balls. All so they can get you the perfect fit.
In Ireland, golf is more than just a game. Come and experience our world-famous links courses and our world-famous parkland courses, all set alongside world-famous scenery. And visit our world-famous historic sites And while you're here, enjoy our world-famous hospitality. Fill your heart with Ireland at ireland.com/golf.
Ben Hogan Golf Equipment is back. Established in 1953, we serve golfers who demand excellence of their equipment. Designed by the game's best engineers, forged in the world's best foundries, and built to order in the USA. Don't settle for off-the-rack disappointment. Elevate your game with custom clubs at direct-to-consumer pricing. Exclusively at benhogangolf.com. That's benhogangolf.com.
The Gen 6 iron is a culmination of everything that we have learned as a team, the absolute best golf club I've ever hit. It's something special. Say hello to the new PXG Gen 6 iron. The longest, most accurate irons we've ever made. They go higher and farther than any iron that I have hit to date, and they're so easy to hit. Super excited for the consumer to try this. They're gonna love them.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Baseball? Nah. Football? Done it. I think I'm gonna go after the PGA Tour.
Playing on the PGA Tour is not easy. But you know what is easy? Hitting the 524 series from Tour Edge.
Hitting linebackers and home runs used to be easy.
Out here, you're gonna need all the easy you can get. Introducing the 524 series from Tour Edge. The easiest clubs you'll ever hit. Even the best players in the world can use a little easy.
I like the sound of that. Look out, PGA Tour.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
Boyne Golf provides the ultimate world-class golf destination with 10 championship-caliber courses spanning 3 resorts. Centered in Michigan's northern Lower Peninsula, the courses are the products of some of the game's masters, including Robert Trent Jones Sr., Arthur Hills, and Donald Ross. From the all-inclusive vacation packages, elite instruction with the Boyne Golf Academy, tournaments, and so much more, Boyne Golf truly offers an unrivaled Michigan golf vacation experience. Just log on to BoyneGolf.com.
Stride by Zero Friction, the first of its kind personal caddy. Walk in comfort and style with Stride's remote and follow me technology. The Stride handles almost any terrain, and its 54-hole range will last all day. The lightweight design and removable front wheels makes it simple to handle. Plus, it easily fits golf carts. Order yours and save. Visit zerofriction.com/stride or scan the QR code to order yours today. Stride, your personal caddy.
That's the ultimate destination right there, the road to Pinehurst. Golf's longest day saw over 600 ultimately that were competing for 44 spots. Up in Ontario at Cherry Hill, Mark Hubbard wins 64-63 to finish convincingly as the medalist up there. As I mentioned, it comes down to, did you get a spot or didn't you get a spot? But his play, if form is an indication, and it clearly is, his play was so very, very impressive. Mark is joining us right now. In the midst of his travels. How you doing, Mark? How are you feeling? How's your energy level?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. Honestly, yesterday wasn't too bad. The course was a pretty easy walk, especially compared to Hamilton Golf Club, where they had the RBC the week prior. So we were joking all day that I think we'd rather walk 36 at Cherry Hill than 18 at Hamilton.
Where are you right now? It sounds like you're in the airport.
Yeah, I'm at YYZ, just waiting for my flight. Probably about to go get a Caesar after this. And
where are you gonna go? Where are you headed right now? You gonna try?
I'm going home.
Rest for a day?
Yeah, I'm going home. I'm not in Memorial. I can't get into the signature events, so I'm on my way home to see my girls, which I'm very excited about. I was excited for 3 weeks off, but I'll take the week off, week on, week off a little better.
When do you hope to get into Pinehurst? What are your plans?
Yeah, we'll probably get in Sunday sometime. I haven't been there before, so I definitely want to get in early, but at the same time, I want to be home. I want to enjoy this off week and rest up and get there, fully mentally recharged. So no need to get there too early, but yeah, I'm definitely excited to get there on Sunday and check it out.
Now, in that, when you're home for the week and you're getting some rest, obviously you're going to be practicing in advance of the U.S. Open. Do you have anybody on your team that's familiar with the golf course and might be able to guide you in terms of practicing? Maybe it's a bump and run or whatever it is, the shots that you think you might need at number 2?
My caddy has been there before and played there before, so he'll know a little bit. But I mean, my coach, my whole team, they're great with the stats and stuff like that. So they have all the info from the years past, and they'll write me up a plan and
Nice.
get stuff over to me to tell me how to practice. But I mean, at the end of the day, like every golf course is, hit it long and straight and make putts. So.
Yeah, but see, dude, that's what you've been doing. The last time you were on with us, you were telling me that you guys were working on getting more of your body and ground force involved in your golf swing instead of just arms, so that you could get more force, get more power, hit it long, the recipe that you just laid out for us. It is so cool to actually watching it happen with you. How satisfied are you with the path?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I feel like that's why I've been playing so consistently well, is that driver's been there. I mean, there's even weeks now where I'm gaining shots off the tee, which 2 years ago, if you had told me that, I would have laughed in your face. So it's been fun, and more than anything, like it's been fun to do it and not sacrifice any other part of my game. I don't feel like I've really had to like drastically change my swing, just little things and try and be more athletic. And I'm really happy with my team right now, and they've been pointing me in the right direction and get me to do the right things, and just made me a lot more efficient.
What happened yesterday? I mean, what happened with you being the medalist by multiple shots at the end of the day? You talked about it wasn't that hard a day because, it was kind of flat, blah, blah, blah. But what were we seeing Mark Hubbard in full flight, in his full potential? Or is this just a step along the way going, Matty, no, this is how I'm playing now. This is what I'm capable of.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I was telling my caddy after the round, I didn't tell him during, but I felt horrible about my golf swing yesterday. I think I was just like really tired after RBC, and I just was kind of trying to slap it around, and I had, a couple of different swing thoughts, and one would be working for a couple of holes, and then I'd kind of hit one astray, and so I'd switch to another one, and but I just got a super hot putter, which was nice because I made absolutely nothing at RBC the week before, but I felt like I was rolling really, really well. I was hitting pretty much every putt right where I was looking and not even coming close. So I thought I was crazy. I thought, maybe my LASIK doctor messed up my eyes and I can't see straight. I was going through the gambit last week. So to see pretty much everything going yesterday was really, really nice.
16 events this year on tour, Mark Hubbard. You've made the cut in every single one, 4 times in the top 25. You had a 4th at Pebble. I want to ask you about your 3rd at the Zurich Classic. That Zurich Classic, I realize from the perspective of all the events that surround the year, we look at the Zurich Classic as a team event, and it has a little bit of a feel of kind of hit and giggle, good time, and it should, right? Because it's a different format and it's fun. But Rory said it changed his focus and how he was playing. Shane said the same thing. Granted, they were the winning team. I get it. Zach Blair said the same thing, played very well that week. You and Ryan played extremely well that week. Is there something about the Cajun food? Is there something about that event and covering your partner's back that helps to focus? Was that in any way a turning point or an ascension for you?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely agree with them. It is a fun event, but at the same time, especially if you're playing with one of your buddies, Ryan's, one of my best friends out here, one of my best friends in the whole world. So there is something special about that week, and you always want to show up for your buddy. I tell people all the time the most nervous I've ever been on the first tee is always the Friday round there for alternate shot. It's just, there's something about wanting to perform for your guy that, puts a little more pressure on you than just if you're out there on your own. I joke sometimes that I should play with somebody that I, don't even like, so I don't care as much. But I really wanted that one. I don't know if it was necessarily, a launching off point, but I did struggle pretty hard on Sunday with the putter. And me and my coach have been working on some stuff for, a good 6 months now. And it was kind of, the final straw, a little bit eye-opening that the putter I was using was kind of inhibiting me from the progress that we were trying to make. So, as much as I was bummed about not closing that out, not showing up for my guy on Sunday, it forced me to finally change putters and reassess. And I got a new one in my hand, and Spidey was incredible yesterday. So.
Yeah, to that point, I was going to ask you, is it technical? Is it physical? Is it mechanical? When you look at what you did yesterday as a medalist coming out of Cherry Hill in Ontario, can you tell us, I don't want you to talk about something you don't want to relay, but can you tell us what you were working on with your putting and what is changing as well as the putter itself?
Yeah, I historically have always played with a big toe hang putter with a ton of arc in my stroke, and I've kind of always had a little bit of a left hand path, and then I kind of drag the putter through, which makes my speed control really great. I've always been a great putter on really fast greens and greens with a lot of break, but just from a consistency standpoint, it wasn't the most efficient stroke. So we worked to get my hand path a little more efficient and just a little more straight back, straight through. And the putter I was using just kind of was inhibiting me from doing that at times, and being as consistent as I wanted to. So, like I said, as much as Sunday at Zurich sucked, it was kind of like, okay, well, now I know for sure that I need to make a change. And so I tried about, 50 different putters at Byron. I think someone posted a tweet on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, with a picture of my bag, and it looked like one of the equipment trailer bags or whatever, with all the putters. So, but I ended up with the TaylorMade Spider. I mean, it's good enough for Scotty and Rory. It's got to be good enough for me. It's probably the last putter I ever thought I'd use, but man, I love it right now.
There's another element to you, Mark, that is clear to me as your friend and someone who's known you for a number of years, many years now. And that is that, to my eye, you have lost the intimidation. It seems to me that you're comfortable in your own skin. You're comfortable of being who you are, albeit you're continuing to work on your game because now you have belief in where you are and what you can do. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like you're in the best place for you mentally right now, and as a result, you can build on this solid foundation?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel and know that I belong out here. I've played with all of these guys, and, I've had stretches where, last year at RBC, I played with Rory both days on the weekend and beat him. Like, I know I can beat all these guys. I know I'm still searching for that first win, but it's very evident that I belong out here, and, I'm old now. I've been out here for a while, so I would hope that I'm comfortable.
What does it mean for you to know that you earned your way into the U.S. Open, that after a few days of rest and a little bit of practice, probably some good food, and I hope a glass of wine, that you're going to be heading to Pinehurst #2 and competing in the U.S. Open there?
Yeah, it's great. This is my second Open, but the first one I played at Wingfoot was during the COVID year. So, I mean, I guess I technically earned it because they went off like the FedEx Cup or World Ranking, whatever. So my play did get me in, but it was definitely a different feeling. Having to go through that qualifier. It's a brutal day, and you got to stay super mentally focused, especially after a long week at RBC. It takes a lot out of you. So it definitely means a little more. And I'm also, like I said, it was the COVID year last time, so I don't feel like I got the full U.S. Open experience with the fans. So to be at an iconic venue like Pinehurst and to have the full fans, I'm really, really excited.
How cool is it when you get home to the family still, Mark, when you see Sadie and you see Harla? I presume it doesn't matter what Daddy shot. They're just glad you're home and hanging out with you.
Yeah, 100%. And, one of the things I've been working on with my coach mentally, I can get down in the dumps a little bit. And so we've been working on a thing. It's worked for Harry Higgs, who also works with my coach. He's pretty much won every time he's teed it up recently. But we've just been trying to have one positive thought before every shot. And, the first couple times I was doing that, it was all golf related. And I found myself yesterday, the majority of my positive thoughts were just about my kids. I love them so much, and I'm super excited to see them. So I know they don't care that I play golf, but I also know Carla's going to love my my medal that I'm bringing home to her, and you know, they like watching me on TV, and we'll probably go to the course a little bit and whack it around.
It's beautiful. You're in the airport right now, hat on backwards, skeleton hoodie on. Are people starting to recognize you nowadays?
Oh no, absolutely not. Probably not even at my home golf club.
That is very funny. You know, I love to ask you about your sponsors. It's our way of saying thank you for you to take the time to join with us so you can spread a little love back to them. You want to tell us about who you have aligned yourself with?
Yeah, well, you mentioned the Skeleton, True Linkswear, Ryan Ward and his brother's clothing and shoe company. They've been great the last couple of years. We got Hubs Peanuts.
Oh yeah,
always got to rep them. Still, they're one of my oldest sponsors. Definitely want to give a special shout out to Scott McCutcheon at Instant Advise. He's one of my newest partners, but he's actually moving to front of hat coming up, and we've just formed a great relationship and partnership. So definitely want to give him a special shout out. He'll be at Pinehurst with me. And we got MGM and Centera Financial, and I know I'm missing some, but USA Today and Look Like You. So yeah, they've all been amazing. Like I said earlier, my whole team's been great. I feel like one big family, and I feel like that's definitely a big reason for my recent success.
And the last thing I wanted to ask you about today, because I think when we have an opportunity to have someone of your stature on the show, there is the opportunity that someone somewhere is going to hear a message that's going to help them in their life, whatever their goal, whatever challenges they might be facing. So I'm going to ask you for your words of inspiration. You have been out there for the long haul. You have come to trust who you are and define your success by your game, not someone else's definition of the same. What message do you have for people that are chasing whatever the dream is in their heart?
Yeah, I mean, obviously work your butt off, but I get way too caught up in it sometimes, and when golf is my number one priority, it's when I'm at my absolute worst, and usually when I'm playing my worst. So I know you gotta be a little bit of a crazy person to be successful at anything, and you gotta put in the hours. But at the end of the day, like, enjoy your life, love your family, love your friends, and there's more life than just your job. There's more life than just golf. Like, obviously, I'm so fortunate to get to do what I do, but when I'm at my best, it is just my job, and it's just a means to an end to get me home to my family.
Gratitude, hard work, perspective, all of that part of the secret of Mark Hubbard's success. We are so delighted to see it. Very, very proud of you and the path that you're on. Kick butt at Pinehurst #2. I know you're going to learn the course very quickly, and like you said, hit it in the fairway, hit it on the green, make the putt. We wish you the very, very best, my friend. Thanks for the time.
So easy, right? Great to see you guys.
Like that, we hope. All right, we'll talk to you again. Safe travels. When we come back at the Fairways of Life show, we will continue our march on this day. Stay with us.
I got ball fit in 2000, went on a little run. Then Bridgestone fit me again, and I went on another run. I just got fit again for the new Tour BX. The ball fitting's been helping me. Will it help you?
Boyne Golf provides the ultimate world-class golf destination with 10 championship-caliber courses spanning 3 resorts. Centered in Michigan's northern Lower Peninsula, the courses are the products of some of the game's masters, including Robert Trent Jones Sr., Arthur Hills, and Donald Ross. From the all-inclusive vacation packages, elite instruction with the Boyne Golf Academy, tournaments, and so much more, Boyne Golf truly offers an unrivaled Michigan golf vacation experience. Just log on to BoyneGolf.com.
This year, treat Dad like a pro and get him what he actually wants: better golf. Golf Forever will give Dad the same coaching and tools the pros use to move their best, swing their best, while staying pain and injury-free. The best gift you can give Dad is one that makes his time on course worth it: the ability to play golf at his highest potential, forever. Golf forever. Play without limits.
Every January, PGA Tour Superstore pros meet every manufacturer, learn about the latest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together hit over 100,000 balls. All so they can get you the perfect fit.
What if we started a company and the company was under no time constraints, no financial constraints? The one constraint is their clubs had to be exceptional performers and much better than any other alternative. I was told time and again it'll never work. It worked like a house of fire. And I'll tell you what, I think our customers love it. BXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Stride by Zero Friction, the first of its kind personal caddy. Walk in comfort and style with Stride's remote and follow me technology. The Stride handles almost any terrain, and its 54-hole range will last all day. The lightweight design and removable front wheels makes it simple to handle. Plus, it easily fits golf carts. Pick up your Stride today at a local PGA Tour Superstore near you or at zerofriction.com/Stride. Stride, your personal caddy.
Welcome back to the Fairways of Life show. It all lies in store, the 124th U.S. Open at Pinehurst #2. On that Donald Ross masterpiece, it was restored back in 2010 by Korda and Crenshaw. Their goal was, though, to bring it back to the Donald Ross glory of yesteryear. Now, obviously, you make adjustments to the modern game, which, yes, is about length, but it also changes everything else, because if you're going to move tee boxes, you also have to strategically move the hazards, right? The bunkers here and there, and et cetera, et cetera. It could there are other things. It's not just about bunker placement. It's also that at Pinehurst, you're still going to have those kind of turnover a teacup greens, but not as severely as it used to be, because you have to remember, over the years, a lot of that was caused by top dressing. When you have these very old golf courses, and we're not far from Donald Ross's house. It's right off the third green. We did a fan trip to Pinehurst a few years ago, and I remember we were sitting, Curtis Strange was with us, and we had a dinner and reception at Donald Ross's house. And at one point, it just kind of evolved this way. It's how it happened. We ended up all sitting in the living room of the house, and there was a roaring fireplace, and in front of that roaring fireplace was this high back chair, and there sat Curtis Strange, and the lot of us gathered around him like we were listening to some ancient Greek philosopher, and Curtis just told stories. It's one of the coolest experiences you can have. Not, with golfers, it's unique because they're such good storytellers. But it's almost any veteran retired athlete for me, for a sports fan, for you guys. You sit around and you hear those stories. They're so good. They're mind-blowing. And so historic, too, when you get to a certain point. And here we were with a multiple-time major champion. In that setting, it's kind of incredible when we look back and think back on it. Golf's longest day was incredible. To think that the week before the U.S. Open, you have this last chance to get in. And it's not a small number. It's small number compared to how many wanted one of them, but it's not a small number compared to the field. When Golf's longest day started, there were 44 spots on offer, but there were more than 650 that wanted to grab them. A couple of pages here. You can see we were talking to Mark earlier. He was the medalist at Cherry Hill. Bears Club, Matt Kuchar was the medalist despite a double bogey in his first 18. Remember, it's 36 holes. Golf Club of Georgia, amateur wins. At Woodmont, Tim Whiting wins, the Swede. Canoe Brook, again, amateur. medalist. This stuff blows me away. At Duke University, North Carolina, Frankie Sappin, remember? Shot a 58 on the Korn Ferry Tour. In Japan, Ryo Ishikawa, part of the top of that leaderboard ultimately. Ohio State University, Justin Lauer, who did just an incredible interview with Todd Lewis on Golf Channel, saying, he was emotional. He's saying, why is this so important? He said, I lost my dad when I was 15. And, the weekend of the U.S. Open's Father's Day. In Springfield, Ohio, Zach Blair, who I was talking about earlier, ended up as the medalist. Up in Oregon, Pronghorn Resort, Joey ended up getting it done. Great interview, too. He was like, yeah, I played Pinehurst when I was a kid. Didn't really like it, but I'm going back. I bet he'll like it this time. Lake Merced in Northern California. David Poosh wins that one. Dallas was earlier. Those names that you're seeing from Dallas, that wasn't Golf's Longest Day this week. It was Japan, one in Dallas, and one in London. That were the three that were earlier. Grant Forrest and Richard Mansell, top of the leaderboard there, you can see from that one. Thank you so much for joining us for the Fairways of Life show today. Thank you in particular to Mark Hubbard. I mean, to call in, we didn't know he was going to. We didn't know for sure. Dom obviously had asked him. But for him to call in as he's like going from one flight to another on his way home, absolutely awesome. You guys have a great one. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.